Hello ladies and gentlemen. In the last video I told you I was going to tell you the reasons of how people treat me now because of what I said, but I'm going to leave that till later. So for now I'm just going to summarize what's happened in my life. This whole story I've told you, I'm just going to summarize it in a quick kind of a point form really. Everything might not be in here, but it's just to remind you all so far basically what's happened to me. From 2011 till 2017, till I found out. I mean, the people, I'm still getting bullied now, but this is a summary from 2011 to 2017. Okay, the whole story I told you about, this is the summary about it. I got my cousin Hayley pregnant in 2010 at her brother's wedding. Now since then, I didn't know that the system was watching me and listening to me and following me around and invading my privacy. Because they thought I took advantage of Hayley. So they've looked up my past and this and that, and Hayley's past as well. Because Hayley had a past with my grandfather. She had accused him of I'm not sure what to say. She had accused him of interfering with her basically. So I guess after I got Hayley pregnant, they were looking at me because I'm also the grandchild of my grandfather. So it was a case of taking advantage of her or raping her or something like that. They were looking at me as a rapist. They invaded my privacy, looked at the photos on my phone. They assumed I'm a pervert, a potential pedophile. And ever since then they've been following me around and listening to me. I didn't know this until last year, 2017. So I got my cousin pregnant at my cousin's wedding. I got my cousin pregnant at her brother's wedding. I didn't know she was pregnant. I only found out after she had the baby. But anyway, I don't want to get confusing. I got my cousin pregnant at the wedding. I went away to work. And I had owed my ex-wife child support money. But my ex-wife had kidnapped my daughter and disappeared in 2007. So I hadn't seen my daughter for about 6 years. And child support, now because the system was watching me because of Hayley, child support and the system, they organized me a job up north where I was getting money every week and I didn't have to pay tax. And they reckon I owed about $20,000 in child support, right? Child support came and took $16,000 off me cash straight out of my bank account. I realized in 2017 that this was just orchestrated by the system and child support. They just took my money. I didn't even know where my child was. I didn't even know where her mother was. I didn't know where any of them were. And child support done nothing. The system got me this job so I can make money quick, and they can take that money for child support that I owed my ex-wife. So they robbed me, child support. That's unfair, and I don't think that's legal to do something like that. But anyway, we'll get to that later. That's another story. Before I went to then I was going to go to South Africa in 2012, and before I went to South Africa, I started hearing some people challenging me outside. Anyway, I left it. Then I went to South Africa, and everybody in South Africa, my cousins and that, were treating me as a potential pervert and a pedophile. I know now because of their behavior. I figured it all out, which is basically defamation of my character, and it's also affected my quality of life because people didn't treat me the way they were supposed to do. And my interaction with women was a no-go because they got women to treat me in a derogatory sense in South Africa. Give me dirty looks and turn away from me. I couldn't believe that. So they looked up my past as well. Then they reckon I was an accused rapist for my ex-wife Mervy and Charlene, because there's a couple of incidents that happened between us, and they also assume I'm a pedophile. I was denied progression by the system, so they denied my jobs, CBI, Gorgon Project, all my construction jobs. They denied me. They denied my progression. They even said it. I've heard it. I'll tell you about that later. The system absolutely denied my progression because I hadn't sorted out my business with Haley yet and Lorenzo, and because they assumed I'm a rapist for my ex-wife and Charlene, because similar situations happened between us. So they took away my jobs. They started by cutting off my lifeline, which is my job and my career, which I don't have now anymore. I've been interacting with drug dealers and dabbling in drugs, so the system knows about it. Everybody, the police, Salvation Army, the whole system, because they've been following me around and listening to me. Everybody knows about it. The government's been following me everywhere, so they're aware of my behavior and the people that I'm associating with. 2013, my brother beat my mum up. And I realized in 2017 that it wasn't his fault. It was the system with their technology-based frequencies. I'm going to get to that story. But my brother beat my mum up. And my mum became a victim of the system. And my brother also became a victim of the system. Basically, after I got my mum beaten up by my brother, then the system got my mum to believe that they're helping her. But they created that situation, that scenario. I've been bullied by everybody, friends, family, work colleagues, a woman, kids, everybody in society. I didn't even know during 2011 to 2017 that people were bullying me. I only found this out in 2017. They were dominating me, they were oppressing me, they were bullying me, defaming my character, invading my privacy, everything. The system thought I was an armed robber because of what happened with my brother Rudy. I had nothing to do with it. The system fucked my hip up. The system messed my hip up. Let me show you something. I don't have my hip is not broken. My hip never got replaced due to avascular necrosis. The health system, they messed my hip up on purpose, deliberately, with technology, because they assume I'm a rapist, a pedophile, a druggie, a junkie, a pervert, and an armed robber, all these things. So basically they want to debilitate me in society, to make me unable to do things, basically. They took away my career, my jobs, they took away my mobility, my ability, my agility, whatever you want to call it. So I'll show you, look at this. I don't know if you can see that there, I don't know how good. That's the scar. That I've got from my hip operation. Now that operation was due to the system. How can I say it? That operation was due to the system debilitating my joints with technology. That's what they do. That's what they do now. And this here, I tried to show you in another video, but I looked at the video and it wasn't clear enough. So if you look at this, I realized this in this year and last year, that's the system basically marked me as a pedophile. Because if you look at that, that looks like a cockroach or a spider. They marked me with this in 2011. Or 2011 or 12, they marked me with this. That's the mark of a pedophile, mate, from the system. I just found this out. I put it all together this year. Can you believe that? My hip, this mark here. This is the system, the government system, that's just totally treated me with impunity based on accusations, unfounded truths, and hearsay. I mean, I'm still in utter disbelief about it all. But they keep bullying me every day as well. They still keep bullying me. Can you believe that? My hip, this mark here. I'll stick to the summary anyway. Then my mum, during this time, my mum tried to get me to beat her up. Can you believe it? She was bullying me. She tried to get me to beat her up, her and her husband. They were trying to make me look like an aggressive and violent person and a druggie. And in my room, they were also making me looking like I'm incompetent of knowing yes from no and stop from go. They made me look stupid and spaced out. And I don't know who they exploited me to. It seems like everybody, because everybody treats me with impunity. So I realized that they were making me look spaced out with technology. It wasn't the dabbling in the drugs, it was all the technology I found out this year and last year. They were making me look spaced out, paranoid and confused. And I realized it's because of what they accused me of, being a rapist and a criminal. And so they try to make me look incompetent of being able to stand up for myself. Like I don't know what yes from no would mean, or stop from go with these women. I realize that now. That's what they were doing. My mother, she made me pay rent when I was unemployed. After the system took away my employment and my hip and my ability to work, now I'm unemployed. My mother makes me start paying rent now. That people are making my life harder. Can you believe that? All that whole time I was working, I wasn't paying rent because I was supposed to be on the Gorgon project, saving money. That's why I was at my mum's house. My mum started bullying me, this and that, because they had all their own ideas about me. And she started making me pay rent when I got on unemployment benefits. Centrelink was bullying me. They made it hard for me to get on unemployment benefits, and they only paid me a certain amount. I even signed a rent certificate saying I got to pay rent somewhere. And they didn't give me rent assistance because they knew all my business. I didn't know that. They've been making my life difficult for years. Centrelink made my life difficult. The doctors were making my life difficult. I mean, besides this mark here and my hip, they put a hole in my tongue. I realize now that wasn't from me. I always wondered how I got a hole in my tongue. It was the system that done it. And I had a big lump abscess thing hanging off my nose. The system done that as well. They do it with technology and the lights and everything. I'm flabbergasted about this technology, the way they use it. They can make me itch. They make my nose itchy and my eyes red and itchy, and they make me look like an anxious druggie, you know, or like I'm always anxious or thinking. They make me think all the time, you know, because they don't want me to remember all of these things. Anyway, back to the summary. The doctors were making my life difficult. I mean, the doctors were bullying me from the hospitals. Then I went homeless. From my mum's place, I went homeless. When I went homeless, I was still in line for a hip operation for my hip. Hey, and when I was down and out, people were kicking me even more into the dirt. Huh? When I went homeless there, I was bullied by the Salvation Army and all the places that help people in need. They all bullied me. They didn't help me, they bullied me. Society was bullying me. The hospitals and the AMBOs, the police services were bullying me. My family and friends bullied me. My family and friends disowned me last year. I was telling you the story. If you check on the story, you see. They were basically disowning me. And I don't know why. Well, I told you the story. I figured out why they were doing it, but I just can't believe that people treated me the way they did. I mean, they made me look like I'm dependent on drugs. They made my life so twisted. They made it look like everyone was doing me a favor, like my mom was doing me favors, her husband, like my brother was doing me favors, like drug dealers were doing me favors. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wasn't doing me any favors. They were all showing me up and bullying me. I didn't know for years that they've been bullying me. They were taking advantage, manipulating my vulnerability, yeah? And treating me with impunity, man, making a fool out of me. Every time we interacted with each other, they were making false statements and bringing lies to me and surrounding my life with drama and anxiety and depression, man, on purpose, huh? I mean, that was everybody in my life doing that every time they saw me. So can you imagine psychologically and emotionally how it changes me in a sense, when they bring in that to me? And I'm a kind of a sensitive guy. You know what I mean? But anyway, I won't talk about sensitivity and emotions. I've lost my quality of life from 2011. My quality of life has just amazingly been degraded. I don't have a quality of life. They've taken everything away from me. My houses, my jobs, my kids, my cars, my kids' investments, my investments. Treated me with impunity, oppressed me, invaded my privacy, exploited me, defamation of character. My quality of life has been so shattered. I don't have a quality of life. Everything has been orchestrated for me in my life by the system since Hayley Myers. Now I'm unemployed, I've got no career, I'm broke and I've got nothing. You know what I'm saying? My quality of life's been changed so much and messed up and shattered. I mean, I go around to curb collections and from the Salvation Army and stuff. You know, now I go to get things from the Salvation Army, curb collections, and places that help people in need. You know what I'm saying? It was the people that help people in need that messed up my life. And they twisted my life around, so now I need them. Can you believe that? Because they assumed and made me an armed robber, a rapist, and a pedophile. A personal vendetta, mate. They took everything away from me. With the help of everybody. People I trusted, my friends and my family. That's how they managed to fool me the most. By using people I trusted. I never ever thought they could mess with my career and my work, but they did. All my work companies are guilty. I'll get to them next. They robbed me of my babies, my daughter, and my son for a few more years. I go see my son now. I still haven't seen my daughter. I've been in court for the last 2 years. Last year, child support again. While I was going to court to see my daughter, I still hadn't seen my daughter. Child support took another $16,000 off me. Another $10,000 for Hayley. That's from my tax for the last 4 years. They lied about since when Hayley was getting child support. I still haven't seen my daughter, and they still took money, another $16,000, and gave it to my ex-wife. My ex-wife is ignoring me now. She's dodging me. She won't talk to me. And I've been to court in the last 2 years. She only showed up to one court appearance, which was the last one. To every other court appearance, she never showed up. I've been through court and trying to see my baby for the last 2 years. I got nowhere, nothing. I had to drop the case a couple of months ago because she's been slandering my name in court. I thought by me going to court would give her a chance to trust me with my daughter, to take my daughter out and develop a relationship with her. But she never done that. She done the opposite. She slandered my name in court. She called me violent, abusive, drug addicted, alcohol addicted. I couldn't believe it. I had to drop the case because I can't get a lawyer. Because the system's against me. I can't get a lawyer. And no one wants to do anything for me. Everyone's treating me with impunity and I haven't done anything wrong. So my wife, she went the other way. She slandered me in court. So I dropped the case because I don't want my name slandered in court for things that I'm not. Because I've got the true stories about me and her. Everything's based on hearsay. Nobody's asked me about what happened and what's going on. So anyway, I go see my son now. I mean, what I've lost is just too immense. It's unacceptable. And I don't know who's going to help me or what help I can get. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing things on my own, trying to get them done, and people bully me everywhere I go. They make me wait. They run me around in circles, and there's nothing I can do about it. You know how that feels. That's why everybody in society treats me with impunity. But anyway, I'll leave that summary there. That's just I try to make it a quick summary for the last 7 years of my life. So basically that's what's happened in my life in the last 7 years. That's the story I've told you. So I'm going to come back next with another video about my work and what used to be my work.